Hello, Elly here from Thankful Flow Yoga. Thank you so much for joining me for another one of my YouTube practices as part of this January Root and Grow series. So today we're looking at the seventh chakra, the crown chakra. And this chakra is all about really uniting sort of all the other chakras. So it's about connecting to the universe. So taking from that what you will, we'll start the class in a comfortable lying position on your back. So make your way into a lying position on the mat for us to ground. And option 2, have the palms facing down as you lie down here as a gesture of grounding. You can start to close your eyes or take a steady gaze. And allow your body to start to melt into the mat. Taking some slow and free breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. Start to check in with how the body's feeling today. Check in with how you're feeling, whether that's physically, mentally, or otherwise. Accepting whatever comes up. And start to observe any thoughts passing through your mind. Be the watcher of those thoughts. And then either keeping your eyes closed or you can open them here. Start to guide the right knee in towards the chest and hug the right knee in, coming into wind relieving pose. So you could have the hands interlaced around the shin, or maybe they're coming behind the thigh. An option to take some circles with the right ankle, going one way and then the other. You want the shoulders, the neck, the head to all be heavy on the mat. So if you're finding that you're straining, then see how it feels to adjust the hands so that you can rest the head. And release the right leg down, draw the left leg in, hug the left knee in towards the chest. And then when you're ready, start to release the left leg, let it drop down on the mat. Take a deep inhale and exhale. And then start to open your eyes if you'd kept them closed, taking a steady gaze. Start to bring both legs up. And coming into your happy baby, so maybe the hands are coming behind the thighs, the calves, maybe the sides of the feet. Taking some gentle movement in your happy baby if that feels good too. So guiding the knees in towards the armpits. Then start to release the legs from your happy baby. We'll gently start to roll over onto the front, so that you're lying on your belly. Inhale, roll your shoulders, lift the chest, and start to come into Sphinx. So the elbows are roughly underneath the shoulders, palms of the hands on the mat. Send the gaze forwards, open across the chest. So thinking about as we open across the chest, and there's some light extension in the spine. Thinking about the heart chakra and Hatha here. Light engagement through the legs and the glutes. And then from here, start to bend the left leg in. Now, it might be that you're bending the foot in here and you're working here, and you can feel the stretch through the quad, the left quad here. That's absolutely fine if this is where you're at. Maybe you're bringing, and you can move this right arm so that it's supporting you. Maybe this left hand is able to come back and reach the left foot and draw it in towards the body. Coming into a stretch and an opening here. And as you do so, press the hips into the mat. Keep breathing. Keep your connection to breath. And release the left leg down. Well done. Start to come onto the other side. To bend the right leg in. You could be working here. You don't have to bring the arm back. See what feels right for you. Maybe the right hand's finding the right foot and drawing in towards the body. Press your hips into the mat. Coming into a stretch. And release the right leg. Let it drop down on the mat. Bring the elbows out to the side, rest the head on the hands. Notice where you can feel the breath in your body. Opening the eyes back up, bring your arms to the side of the body. Inhale, lift your chest and your arms away. Either working here in your half locust, or maybe you're also lifting the legs away from the mat, coming into full locust pose. Breathing here. Legs are switched on, using the muscles through the posterior chain, supporting the back body. And release, well done. Release the body down, take a deep breath. And then inhale, start to ground through the hands and lift the body through to a tabletop position on the mat. So shoulders above the wrists, hips above the knees. Inhale, reach the left fingertips up to the sky, send the gaze in that same direction, coming into a little twist and opening here. Exhale, bring the left hand back down. Inhale, reach the right fingertips up. Exhale, bring the right hand back down. And then start to come through your cat and cow. So inhale, send the gaze forward, shine the heart forwards. Exhale, drop the head, come up and out of the shoulders, round through the spine. And start to take any movement that feels good in your cat and cow. So if you want to reach the hips from side to side and feel a stretch through the side body here, then you can. You can make your cat and cow as big or as subtle movement as you want it to be. So really thinking about what feels good for you in your body. Leading with the breath, following with the body, and observing with the mind. And then meeting back, sit the hips back towards the heels, melt into a child's pose, chest and forehead comes down to the mat. And in your child's pose, start to walk the hands over to the right, staying low in the child's pose. Feel the stretch through the left side body. Breathing into that stretch. Start to walk the hands back to center and then over to the left. Feel the stretch through the right side body. Thinking about the connection today of all these chakras. If you've been following this series with me, we've worked our way through from the root chakra, Muladhara, all the way through, and now we're thinking about the crown chakra today. Connection to this life force energy, prana. And really, it's what that means for you. Start to walk the hands back to neutral, open the eyes, and start to lift the hips away from the heels and start to walk the feet in towards the hands and curl the body up to standing, head and neck coming up last. You can soften the legs as much as you need to here as you do this. Meeting into Tadasana mountain pose at the top of your mat. We'll start to come through our sun salutations now. So grounding through the feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up to the sky, lift your ribs away from your hips. Exhale, hinge from the hips, forward fold. Soften the knees as much as you need to. Inhale, lift the chest, lengthen the spine, halfway lift. Hands could be coming to the shins, the thighs, maybe the mat. Exhale, bring the hands down to the mat, step the feet back. Now I'm going to work through a modified chaturanga here, but if you want to go straight into your full chaturanga with upward facing dog, you absolutely can. But holding here in plank or dropping the knees down to modify, really connect to your inner line of energy and thinking about these chakras. So thinking about working all the way up from the root of, so the muscles at the seat of the pelvis in that area, all the way through to the crown of the head. These energy fields. Drop the knees down on the exhale, lower the belly down to the mat. Inhale, roll your shoulders back, lift the chest, cobra, or maybe you're coming into your upward facing dog. Exhale, release the chest down. Press the hands into the mat as you inhale, lift the body away. And then exhale, meet in a downward facing dog. But remembering that child's pose is there for you at any time that you need it. Creating this V shape with the body, Take a pedal out through the feet. Start feeling into the backs of the legs, maybe into the glutes, into this Savasana hip space. Notice what's alive in your body today. Observe your breath. Keep reaching the hips to the sky, lengthening the spine. On your next inhale, step or walk the feet in towards the hands and lift the chest and lengthen the spine, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Soften the legs as much as you need to. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky, grow the spine tall. Exhale, bring the hands through to heart center. Now we'll come through our sun salutation B. The grounding through the feet. Check your foot foundation, feet roughly hip width apart. Sometimes it might feel better for some of us to have them closer in together or further apart. So really thinking about what's going to help you to feel grounded and rooted. Inhale. Sit the hips back into your Utkatasana. So your chair pose. So this is the imaginary seated position. So imagining that you are popping your hips on a seat behind you. Hands could be by the ears or out in front. Strong through the core, so activating through Muladhara, through our solar plexus area, so Manipura as well. Breathing here, squeezing the legs together. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift the chest and lengthen the spine, halfway lift. Exhale, bring the hands down to the mat, step the feet back. Inhale, start to come through your chaturanga into upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale, come back into your downward facing dog. Reconnect to your breath. Taking some deep breaths here. Maybe you want to take a releasing breath, inhaling through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth. Feeling some energy and warmth building into the body. And then on your next inhale, start to sweep the left foot through between the hands. And reach the arms up to the sky, high lunge. Drop the back knee down to modify. And on each inhale, lift up and out of the waist. Create length. Lifting up from the root. And then on your next exhale, come into cactus position with the arms opening across the chest, shining the heart forwards. Breathing here. And start to release your hands down. You can bring them to your hips if that feels good too. And you might want to use a block here. And you've got the option to see if you want to power through from your high lunge and come into your half moon pose. Or if you prefer, you can step this back foot in. So I'll do the modified version this time. So stepping the right foot in, stabilizing. And then we're going to bring the weight forwards into the left leg. And we're opening into the side plane of the body for half moon pose. So this left hand could be coming down to a block. Maybe it's coming down to the mat. And the right arm reaches up to the ceiling. Maybe your gaze is coming up as well. This is can be quite a strong place to be. So really thinking about what support you might need here, whether to use a block. Maybe you can practice with your back to a wall for support. Breathing into the balance. And start to release the right arm down. Step the right leg back. Come back and meet in your high plank position. And come through your chaturanga. Inhaling into upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale back into your downward facing dog. Press the mat away from you with your hands. Lift up and out of the shoulders. Send your hips to the sky. Relax your head and your neck. This time on your next inhale, sweep the right foot through between the hands, reach the arms up to the sky, high lunge. So pausing here in your high lunge. Remember, you can drop the back knee to modify. As you inhale, lifting and lengthening, lifting up and out of the waist. And as you exhale, surrendering, releasing into the pose. On your next exhale, bring the arms into cactus, open across the chest. Keep lifting up from the waist as you inhale. Making space on your in-breaths. And then this time, either step this left foot in, or you can power through. So see how it feels? Ooh, to power through, coming into half moon. Maybe you've got your hand on a block. And no worries if you're wobbling, falling out, all over the place. All part of building your strength and your joint stability. Sometimes these balancing postures can really bring up different feelings and emotions, frustrations. Just being in a place of awareness and acceptance. Observing, allowing whatever comes up to be, let it pass through. And start to sweep the left hand down, step the left foot back, meet back again in your plank position, and Vinyasa. Come through your chaturanga, inhaling either into an upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale back into your downward facing dog. On your next inhale, start to step or walk the feet back in towards the hands. Lift the chest, lengthen the spine, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And then inhale, come back to your Utkatasana. Chair pose. Strong through the core, strong through the Muladhara, the root chakra. Squeezing the legs in together. Exhale, release, well done. And then from here, start to inhale, sweep the arms back up to the sky, lift your ribs away from your hips. Exhale, float down into a forward fold, bend the legs as much as you need to. Inhale, lift the chest, lengthen the spine, halfway lift. Exhale, bring the hands down to the mat, step the feet back and drop the knees straight down for tabletop position. Now from your tabletop position, or if you prefer, you can work from plank pose here, depending on how you're feeling. I will demonstrate both. So we'll start with coming from tabletop. You're going to come into pigeon pose. So slide your right knee out to the side of this right wrist. And then you could be tucking this foot underneath, being mindful of the knee joint and then sliding the left leg back. Now, it might be that you're using some blocks for support here. You could have blocks under the hip. So bringing the ground up closer to you. You could be using a bolster. So take as much support as you need. If you've got cushions and blankets, you want to use those to fill in some of that space and support your body, then you absolutely can. So being mindful of this right knee joint as well. And then when you're ready, maybe bringing the right hand to the right thigh, left hand to the hip, and squaring off the hips. So we want the hips shining forwards. And then start to walk the hands out in front, melting down in your pigeon pose. So really connecting again here to Svadhisthana in this hip space. Stretching through the hips. Letting go of tension, anything that we've stored in this area. You can close off the eyes if that feels good too. Breathing into this space. Noticing any physical or mental resistance to the pose. Try to breathe into it. Start to slowly come up from the fold and bring your hands so that they're back roughly underneath your shoulders. I'm going to ground into the hands. And really important here is that we want to make sure that we're not putting pressure into the knee joints as we come out of pigeon. So using the hands to ground into the mat and lift this back leg back to tabletop position or plank. And we'll get ready to come onto the other side. So if you're coming from plank position, then you're drawing the left knee to the outside of the left ankle and then sliding down into pigeon pose from here. You can do the same, but just coming from a tabletop position if that feels right for you. Taking any blocks or props that you need to support you in the pose. Bring the left hand to the left thigh, right hand to the right hip, squaring off the hips, and then melting forwards into the fold. Each side of your pigeon could feel quite different, and that's okay, that's very common. Keep observing what's alive for you physically, mentally, emotionally. Slowly start to come up from the fold. Same again here, we're going to really ground through the hands. Make sure that the weight's going into the hands rather than into the knee joint. And then either bringing this left leg back to plank or sliding it back to your tabletop position. Either way, everybody meet back in tabletop. And then we're going to start to sit ourselves back, come into a seated position on the mat, and bring the right leg out in front. Bend the left leg in, and then see how it feels to hook the left foot over to the outside of the right thigh. If that does not feel good for you, you can keep the left foot on the inside So you could have the left foot here and be working here. Maybe it's coming to the outside of the right thigh and you could be working with half Lord of the Fish here. Maybe you're also bending in the right leg. So this is getting quite a strong external rotation with the hip. So just being mindful of what feels right for you, what feels right on the knee joints as well. Sometimes the knee joint gets compromised when there's resistance in the hip space of coming into this position with the legs. Just being mindful of that. And then I'm going to take the left fingertips out behind you. Oh, lots of sun in my face. And inhale, sweep the right arm up to the sky, lift your ribs away from your hips. Exhale, twist to the left. And maybe you're hooking the elbow to the outside of the left thigh. Maybe you're taking the hug here. Coming into your half Lord of the Fish. You've got the option to come to the next part of this pose, which is taking a lengthening through this left leg. And then you're taking the hand to the foot and reaching the left arm out behind you. So twisting here. Breathe in to the pose, making space on the inhales. Move into the space you created on your exhales. And slowly start to unravel, come out of the twist, release the legs, maybe take a little window wipe with the knees from side to side. And then this time we're gonna reach the left leg out in front, bend the right leg in. You could be working here, so making this into more of a Marichasana C. See how it feels to step the right foot over. Maybe this left leg's also bending in. Really notice how this feels on the knee joints, the hip space. Listening to your body. Right hand comes to the mat behind you. Inhale, sweep the left arm up to the sky. Exhale, twist to the right. Maybe you're taking the hook. Come into this part of the pose first. Allow the gaze to follow, coming over the right shoulder. And then maybe you're taking the hand to the outside of the right foot, lengthening that out in front, sending the right arm out behind you. Allow your gaze to follow, breathing here. Keep plenty of space through the spine. Lift on the inhale, release on the exhale. And slowly start to come out of the twist. Release the hands and the legs. And start to come back to a comfortable seated position on the mat. Close off the eyes. More ground here to finish off the practice. It's an option to bring the hands to the knees as a gesture of grounding. Reach the crown of the head to the ceiling. Notice the breath in your body. Observe any thoughts, anything that's come up for you in this practice. Coming back to crown chakra, the 7th chakra. Thinking about your connection to life force, what that means for you. Chakras are not something that you can physically see or touch. They are a subtle, energetic part of the layers of the body. Just like emotions, you can't see them, they're very much there. Working through these chakras, looking at the different areas, the meanings behind them, in its own little journey of self-reflection and awareness. When you're ready, start to open the eyes, taking a steady gaze. As always, if you have longer to stay in Shavasana or drop into some meditation, then please do. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice. I really hope that you enjoyed it. As always, there's much more information and a link below to further classes and practices that I do. Please subscribe to this channel to see the further videos in this root and grow series. And yeah, I can't wait to see you for the next meditation or flow. Thank you. Bye-bye.